Hey, welcome to the video. In this video, we'll be making our first C program. So let's get started. So before we start making a C program, we have to know the structure of C program. So C uses something called include. And include is a file. It calls a file. It calls a header file and gets the code inside the header file to make your program run. So when you compile your program, when you execute the compiled program, when you execute your executable, the executable will only compile, will get executed if you have a header file. So when we write a program, we use some keywords, some functions that are defined somewhere in the C, and without a reference to those files, we won't be able to compile the program. So for running the program, to write any C language, you have to use something called stdio.h. What stdio.h is, it's a header file. It's a very common header file. No matter what kind of C standard you're using, no matter what compiler you're using, it may be GCC or Xcode, you have to import stdio.h or stdio header file. That is a very common header file that please try to memorize this line. Please try to keep somewhere in your brain like this stdio.h because you will be using this header file in all of your C program. So next thing we have is int main. So as the name suggests, int main is a main function. This is a function. So how do you know it's a function? Well, whatever the function you will write, it will always have this notation. It will have a data type, and it will have a name of the function, then it will have the bracket, open and closing brackets. So this is the notation of a function, and inside the curly brackets we will write the definition of the function. So this is a function, and when inside the curly brackets we will write the definition of the function. So what is the definition of the function? Well, the definition of the function is the body of the function. You are defining what the function will do. You are defining what this main function will do when it gets executed. So in C you can have thousands of functions, thousands of different functions, but main is the function. Main is the function that will get executed when you execute your program. So you can have like int foo, and this is also a function. You can have a bunch of different functions, but it doesn't matter. Main is the function that will get executed when you execute your program. So whatever the code you will write inside the main is the code that is going to get executed. So now that we have made that clear, let's write our first program called hello world, and we will use printf. So printf is a command. So there are various ways to print in C. We'll be talking about those various methods. But one of the common method to print anything on the screen or to the terminal, or when you execute your executable, is printf. So printf, again, it's a keyword. You have to memorize this thing. Printf is a keyword that is defined somewhere, and we are referencing it through the stdio.h, which is needed to write printf. If you don't include the stdio.h, the C won't understand what is a printf is, and it will give you error. So you have to memorize the syntax. This is the syntax. So you have to memorize printf, and then you have to open a bracket, and inside the bracket you will have the quotation marks. So it will be open and closing quotation mark, and inside that you can write whatever you want to get displayed when the program is executed. For my purpose, I will be writing hello world. So, and since we are using a int function, it's an int data type, we generally return some value. We generally return a value to the program just to say that the program ran very flawlessly and it executed without any error. So we do that by returning 0. So when you return 0, it says that the program ran perfectly, the program didn't have any errors, and it executed and it exited without making any errors. So now this is a basic C syntax. The 6 lines of code is basic C syntax. So now if you want, you can go to your own editor, whatever editor you're using, and write this program, pause this video, and come back after you have written the program and compare with my program that I have wrote. Um, One thing I will say to you is that write a readable program. See my indentation, my brackets, opening and closing brackets. Everything is neat and everything is readable. So you don't want the program to be cumbersome or bunch of lines stacked together, because C will execute this program too. C will execute this program too. It doesn't matter. The spacing doesn't matter in C, but it doesn't looks nice. It doesn't looks nice. It is not readable. It is bad. So a good programming practices have proper indentation, proper notation, proper closing and opening brackets. Uh, those are good C practices. So write your program, come back and compare the program, and then we will execute the program and see what we are getting as output. So over here you can see we get hello world. Um, we get hello world, and we said at the last line it said process finished with exit code 0. So it is for our eyes only. So it is for our eyes only. When you execute the program, oh, you see exit code 0. Okay, the program ran successfully and it didn't have any errors. So this is for the debugging purposes. So when you have when it is returning 0, it is okay, the program ran fine. Okay, so this was the quick first video of how to make a C programs, basic C app. Next video we'll be talking about different data types like integer, float, character data types, derived data types, enums. We'll be defining those things. We won't go deep into all of the data types, but we will touch some data types, and in the further series we will get in depth view of all the data types that we'll be talking in the next video. So peace out for now. See you in the next video.